Good morning, everyone. I would like to welcome you to the fourth quarter earnings call of Biocon Limited. As you can see, we are living through very unprecedented times. This is my first, media call which I'm doing from my home on a video conferencing platform, and you can see I've even chosen a coronavirus background because that's what we are battling today as a country, as a people, as a global community. So let me start by saying that these are difficult times. These are times when businesses have been disrupted, impacted, but I'm very optimistic that we will come out stronger. We will come out much more disciplined, and we will come out more resilient. As you know, this is a time when we are dealing with an invisible enemy that is really proving to be a very difficult and clever and cunning enemy that we have to start tackling with vaccines, with therapeutics, with new treatments. And of course, beneath it all is how do we even test and make sure we have accurate tests to determine the disease burden, the viral load, and how it is coming down and how we are battling it. But I'm very confident that as a science-led company, we are looking at every possible way to overcome this very grave global pandemic. As you know, India is also in a situation where it has now over 80,000 cases identified, and obviously our mortality rate is also increasing. It has crossed 2,500, and we are in a situation where it has crossed a much larger number than that, and we are of course battling with this disease in a way that companies like ours are looking at repurposing drugs, developing tests, both RT-PCR and serological tests. And I think there's a lot happening. I think it's very proud for the country to see how, as a nation, we have all rallied. We have all addressed a number of medical supply issues like PPEs, like hand sanitizers, like masks, ventilators, you name it. And therefore, I think this is the coming together of a country. It's a coming together of innovators to find rapid solutions. And I, for one, believe that we will come out much stronger once we've dealt and know how to deal with this virus. As it was recently mentioned, this is a virus that is going to remain with us for a long time. So we have to know how to deal with it. Now, coming to financial performance. After 3 very strong quarters, unfortunately, we've ended up with a weak quarter in the fourth quarter. And the main reason was that our star performer, the biologics division, has been very badly impacted by COVID-related issues. And it is because of biologics performance that the consolidated revenues have been dragged down this quarter. Having said that, I must mention that both our research services business and, more importantly, our small molecules business has done exceedingly well this quarter. So, overall, I think we have to look at our business in a holistic way. Biologics has always been the star performer. It has always carried and driven growth for the group. But this quarter, unfortunately, it was not able to keep up this momentum. Having said that, I would say that, yes, let me start with numbers and then take you through the annualized numbers where you can see that we have actually done very well. So at a quarterly level, the total revenues were at 1,644, which was a modest 6% growth over last fiscal. Net profit was down 42% at 123 crores from 214 crores last fiscal. And EBITDA was also down 11% from 431 to 362 crores, 382 crores. EBITDA margins also declined from 28% to 23%. Our core EBITDA margins also declined from 34% to 29%. And our net profit margin also declined from 14% last fiscal to 8% this fiscal. R&D expenses increased 36% from 92 crores to 125 crores. And gross R&D spends declined 16% from 156 crores to 139 crores. As you can see that the high margin business, which is what biologics is, has actually, because of its decline, has impacted the Q4 numbers. But now coming to the annualized numbers, you can see that this is a very different story. It's a very positive story. On an FY20 annualized basis, we have actually delivered 15% growth from 5,659 crores last fiscal to 6,529 crores this fiscal. Net profit is at 748 crores. Net profit before an exceptional item, as you know, last year we did have an exceptional item, was ahead by 4% from 729 to 760 crores this fiscal. EBITDA grew 15% from 1,538 crores to 1,765 crores. EBITDA margins remained at 27%. Core EBITDA margins increased from 32 to 33%. Net profit margins were at 11%. And R&D expenses increased 52% from 290 crores to 539 crores, and they increased at a gross R&D spend level by 10% from 480 to 527 crores. R&D spends obviously reflect the development pipeline that is advancing, and we are pleased with these numbers. In terms of business segments, small molecules grew extremely well, both at the quarter level and at an annual level. 15% growth year on year from 472 crores last fiscal in the Q4 to 541 crores this quarter in this fiscal. At an annualized level too, it has for the first time crossed 2,000 crores, which is a milestone for the small molecules business. This has grown 18% from 1,773 crores to 2,094 crores. Biologics at a quarterly level had a very disappointing fourth quarter. As I mentioned, it had a large number of COVID-related logistics issues and other issues, and it declined 21% from 451 to 357 crores this fiscal. But at a annualized level, it had the highest growth of 29%. It reached 1,951 crores as against 1,517 crores the previous fiscal. Branded formulations declined 12% at the quarter level to 117 crores, and at the annualized level to 536 crores, which was an 18% decline. This is a division that is being looked at in a very different way. So we do expect that in 2 quarters, you will see growth coming out of this sector. Research services had a very good quarter, 14%. It crossed 600 crores this quarter for the first time from 537 to 607. And also at an annualized level, it has grown 10% to 2012. Revenue from operations grew 3% to 1,581 crores, and revenues from operations at an annualized level grew 50%, as I mentioned earlier, to 6,367 crores. Other income was 63 crores at the quarter level and 161 crores at the annualized level. And this therefore brought total revenue at the quarter level to 1,644 crores, which is a 6% increase over last fiscal at the quarterly level, and 15% at an annual level at 6,529 crores. So having said that, I would now like to basically give you some optics on some of the other aspects of our business. In terms of our biologics business, apart from the, although the quarter was disappointing, on the regulatory front, we have had some very good news because we have had many approvals coming in from US FDA and EMA on many of our facilities, including Malaysia, and many of the new facilities and new capacities that we have put into place at Biocon Park. And this therefore allows us to actually address the market opportunities with a greater sense of capacity support. Our partners, Mylan, are very confident that they will actually put in all resources to aggressively address the global market opportunity for biosimilars. And as you will appreciate, the COVID pandemic has certainly challenged the healthcare systems globally. And we believe that both generics and biosimilars are going to have a very important role to play in containing healthcare costs. And we expect that this blip that we've had in the fourth quarter of the biologics business will recover in Q1 of FY21. And I'm sure that we will get back to normal growth from Q2 onwards. We are also anticipating the insulin glargine approval shortly, and we expect to launch insulin glargine in the US market by Q2 this fiscal, and that will also add to our business growth for the biologics business. I would also like to mention that our fulfiller, that is pegfilgrastim, and trastuzumab, biosimilar trastuzumab, which is Ogivri, have both been launched in Australia and Canada. And in both these markets, it has received a good acceptance in the marketplace. We also believe that there's another positive development, which is that the litigation that was ongoing for insulin glargine has been won at the US District Court. So that also sets us up very well for this business going forward. There are many other products under development. Our bevacizumab is under review by US FDA, and so on and so forth. So I think we are very confident that the years ahead are going to play out very successfully for Biocon Biologics, which wants to be and sees itself as a very key global biosimilars company in the years ahead, with one of those leading edge, considered to be a leader in biosimilars, with a significant and hopefully dominant market share in the years ahead. Coming to small molecules, as I mentioned, both our generic formulations business in the US is doing well, as is our API business. Our immunosuppressant business has been doing very robustly, and all this has actually led to a very strong quarter. And we anticipate that FY21 will continue to be a good growth quarter. Good growth year for small molecules. We are developing a very exciting pipeline of generic ANDAs, which we will take globally to many other markets. This division also had a successful US FDA EIR issued to it very recently. So overall, I think our facilities across the company are in a good state of compliance. Branded formulations, as I mentioned, was still in a phase where it has not been able to grow. There have been supply constraints. There have been other pricing pressures in the marketplace, and we are looking at ways and means of strategizing to see how we can actually differentiate in the marketplace and add value and growth to this particular segment. On a positive note, our CanMab sales commenced in Sri Lanka during the quarter, which we expect to ramp up. In terms of our novel molecules business, our oral insulin Tregopil is advancing in the phase 1 clinical trials for type 1 diabetes. And we are also seeing some traction in some of our other novel molecules. Just to mention here, Biocon has also repurposed its novel CD6 antibody itolizumab, which we market in India as Alzumab for psoriasis. This has been repurposed for COVID-19, and clinical trials are ongoing both in Mumbai and in Delhi, and patients have been enrolled, and so far the patients have responded very, very well. So we're hoping that this can actually save lives. These are early days yet, but we're hoping that this drug will play an important role in COVID-19 treatment going ahead. Research services, as you know, reported very strong growth this quarter, and it crossed the 600 crore mark this quarter. It has been driven by a very strong performance of its discovery services and its development services. During the quarter, the company also commissioned a new 150,000 square feet multidisciplinary research facility in Biocon Park in Bangalore, keeping a pace with the kind of demand that is growing for research services. We also believe that Syngene will benefit from the de-risking strategy of China dependence that most big pharma has, and it will see more business coming to it. Moreover, I think this COVID crisis has also opened up a very new opportunity for Syngene, because it has started focusing on virology. It has also been accredited by the ICMR to offer tests for COVID-19, which we are doing free of cost under our CSR program. We are working very closely with the Karnataka government. And I think this is also proving to be a very big opportunity in terms of developing other novel tests. In terms of the other COVID initiatives, I just want to mention that we had an employee contribution where every employee of the Biocon group has contributed to the PM CARES fund. We have also supported a large initiative for supplying grocery kits to the underprivileged and migrant labor class across Bangalore and also in Telangana and Andhra Pradesh. We have also contributed to CM Chief Minister's funds in these states. And I believe that overall we are in a state where we really want to help more and more. We are still not over this COVID crisis, because as you know, there are many states that are still reeling under this particular viral pandemic. But I'm sure that in time, India, which has done much better than most countries, will come out stronger. I'm very confident that we will find good treatments with which to manage and deal with this disease. And in conclusion, I just want to say that the year ahead is something that we are addressing with a lot of confidence and with a spirit of challenge, because we believe that there are opportunities, there are challenges. As you can see, we have also overcome the challenges in the early stages of this pandemic and the lockdown, where we have managed to put in place some excellent protocols, workplace protocols that have allowed at least 50% of our employees to work in our manufacturing plants. You know that these are essential services. We don't want to deprive and deny any patient of our life-saving medications that we are producing at Biocon. So all this has been put into place. We have an excellent protocols which we have shared across the industry, and these have been adopted in many of the new protocols that are being announced by the government. We have temperature profiling, we have physical distancing, we have sanitization protocols, we have mask wearing, we have made sure that all our employees download the Arogya Setu app, etc., etc. And we have also zoned all our facilities so that if there is a single case that is being detected, the entire facility doesn't shut down like many other facilities have experienced, but only that particular zone can be turned around very rapidly after sanitization. And we have a very strict quarantine protocol, which makes sure that the person and the contacts are quickly going to be quarantined. So I will stop there and take questions from the media. Thank you.